Hey everybody, just a couple of quick tips on the locking issues with the Promaster vans. So I had the one that Russell's had for a long time, or for a while anyway, and the back door would not open for me earlier this week. And at one point I couldn't even get the slider door to open, so I'll tell you what I figured out on that. So the problem with this, I don't know how well you can see that, but right in here, it's probably hard to tell. There, you can see that. See that blue cable? That the smaller part of that cable locks in right there. It just presses in. So what had happened is the cable enters down in here, kind of where my finger's moving. So it goes in between those two slices of steel, and the pin goes through. So you kind of have to thread the cable through there, and then the left and right piece has to be slid into those slots. And then, of course, this plastic collar slides into the keeper piece. So whatever happened, the mechanisms were bound up, and the cable wasn't opening the mechanism as it should, so all the pressure was put on that cable where it's kept in place there. It just snaps in. So there's a little black cover that goes over this that you can just pop out, and then it's not easy, but you get your fingers in there and get the cable down below slid into place, and then get that collar pressed into the other plastic holder piece. That's a problem there. I'll put that black cover on when I'm done with this. And the other thing I've noticed, so I did get it to work. I also lubed up the mechanism up there, and then in there, and then on this door, you got the one up there, and then the one there at the bottom. So you got two on each door. So I just spray some WD-40, some lubricant to keep those moving free. Hopefully that will help. The other thing I noticed is if you grab the handle way down here, it pulls pretty hard. But if you put your hand down here, but you're kind of putting the pressure on your thumb up here. So you're kind of using more of a leverage kind of action. So you're kind of actually pushing a little bit with your thumb on the top part and then pulling it open. It seems to be easier to open than down below. So you're kind of doing like a rocking motion instead of just pulling straight out. They seem to like that better. And if your lock is binding up, it might be a good idea to, just kind of get in the habit of that. So on the slider, I was reading some forums, and that handle would not open. So the suggestion is to push real well on here. I actually kind of used my shoulder and pushed in. I think what happens is it doesn't get latched all the way. I mean, it's latched, but it's not latched enough for the handle to do its work. So by doing that, it's kind of locking it in fully. So then it lets this handle do its job. So if you have trouble with that, just try to kind of put your shoulder and push in on that part of the door. And in my case, I had it doing that a couple of times, and putting some pressure right there did the trick. I had that happen a couple times this week. And then I've also sprayed some lubricant into the mechanism. I mean, that's the only place in there where it actually latches, is right in there. Everything that's on this end of the door are just kind of guide pins. So that's the only piece on the left side of the door that actually locks it in. So again, lubricate your mechanisms and kind of do the rocking motion with the handles instead of pulling straight out. And hopefully, we won't have as many problems with these as we might otherwise. So, yeah, I hope that's helpful.